I'm going to call the meeting to order. We do have one change in the agenda, actually. Oh, yeah, call the roll call first. Sorry.
Hipp?
Yes.
Esti? Yes. Flournoy?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
Kness? Yes. Rowe?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So we do have a couple changes here. We are going to delete the supplemental assistance agreement with Allers because that is, we don't have anything for that right now. And also, we're going to add Paul Stocksted to public forum and appearances. So well, council, any other changes? Let's go to our consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of the August 25th, 2025 council meeting. Approval of the minutes of the September 3rd, 2025 special council meeting. Approval of the August 29th, 2025 payroll in the amount of $171,913.16. Approval of the February finance report. Approval of March finance report. Approval of April finance report, and approval of the May finance report. Approval of fiscal year 26 USDA Step 1 debt in the amount of $155,700. Approval of fiscal year USDA wastewater treatment debt in the amount of $927,540. Approval of fiscal year USDA Step 2 debt in the amount of $336,612. Approval of fiscal year 26 USDA Step 2 debt in the amount of $238,480. Acceptance of the ad hoc committee Walton Lake project minutes of 7/24/25. Acceptance of beautification commission minutes. Acceptance of the volunteer center minutes from June 15th and August 19th. Consent of park use permit for FHS Homecoming. This is a noise exemption and parking spaces. Resolution of employment in the fire department. Approval of ACH payment to the Department of Revenue in the amount of $25,598.20. Approval of special claims in the amount of $4,425.27. And approval of total claims in the amount of $350,157.49. We had one claim more than $75,000, which was to Alliant Energy of $80,957.13.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Okay. Moved by Gandy.
Second.
Second by Kness. Any discussion?
I did review the claims and they all seemed in order.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions? No, please call the roll.
Gandy?
Yes.
Kness?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Esti?
Yes.
Flournoy?
Yes.
Hipp?
Yes.
Okay, first up is, well, actually, before we get started, so this is our public forum and appearances section here. And just want to remind everyone that ultimately this is a business meeting of the city and for the council to conduct business. So when you come up to the podium, I'm requesting that you give your name and what ward you live in. When we get down to the section that is particularly related to Walton Lake, the council is really looking for new information, not hashing out some of the old information. Again, if you can please stick to the new information that you have, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'm going to ask the council not to ask questions while you're speaking, so you can have your time to share what you want to share. And for those seated and in the room, I'm asking that there not be yelled out comments or questions. It just is too disruptive. And just asking everyone, including all of us up here, to bring our better selves to this meeting. Ask that there be no personal attacks on staff or council members or vendors or whoever. You know, we all, at the end of the day, we're all citizens of Fairfield. We want to make our community a better place to live, and we can have differences of opinions and still be friends and neighbors. And so that's in the spirit of how I want to move forward tonight. So with that, we will start. Paul Stocksted is up first, and he has I think, a request for Petra's Park.
Paul Stocksted, I don't know what ward I'm in. It's on the north side. I'll be somewhere. Okay. So yeah, we're looking for approval to add something to Petra Park, which I believe is city-run, and so it's this piano project, and what it is the idea of putting in a permanent piano outdoors. It's made of concrete, it's digital, and it lasts basically forever, as long as you can keep it there. And it's an urban kind of thing that's being done in a lot of major cities. You can control the operating hours, the volume. You can set the noise at whatever level is desired. There's a system, a digital system app, basically, to update the thing and monitor the thing and create app access, basically, for whoever's running it. It's designed to enhance the public space, more social interaction. A lot of city planners are using it, this type of thing. Or we can see using it to create more sense of place in the environment, something for people to do in Petra Park. Public piano people can play. They can also have scheduled events and performances. It connects digitally to other instruments, so it could support an ensemble. And you could have dance events and piano events and even free piano classes. And of course, it fits in with Art Walk, so that's fun. Here's some of the other cities that have one, and I think we should be on this list. And so, and they're also in development. So piano's probably about $50K, plus there's a Internet of Things module, some logistics getting it here, maybe $50, $60K we need. If we want to fundraise for that, there's some maintenance. I would personally develop a website to support it for scheduling. I'm a web designer, and just a sample of how it could be installed. It wouldn't look exactly like this, but that's just a little digital added into the space. And other than that, we're working with a vendor called Cadenza Piano. It's from Israel. They've done a number of these, and they're working with basically, landscape architects, out of New York. And that's the story. So the idea is I would create a GoFundMe page, raise this money, and then I would create a website and allow various musicians to schedule events. And that's my story.
So you're asking the council for permission to fundraise for this and put it in the park?
just to put it there. We'll fundraise for it unless there's a problem with that. So that's all. Just want permission to put it there.
Have you discussed this with the gentleman who donated the park to the city?
Well,
Mr. Stanley?
The husband, all I know is, Petra's husband, we had a nice conversation, and he loves the idea. He says he's been musically engaged and would love to see it happen. So we did talk with him at some length.
The only reason why I mention that is when people have proposed things in Petra Park previously, we usually like to just make sure that he's
We talked to him at
yeah.
length, and when we could find him, because he's a busy guy.
Right, got it.
That's all I got.
So how would the piano stay in tune, Paul?
It's digital, and so it doesn't get out of tune very well. It doesn't really know how to do that.
And is there any risk to the city in having this instrument installed in the park that you're aware of?
Can't think of any risk other than the risk of
Somebody being injured or something
cultural
like
enrichment.
Someone damaging it.
Yeah.
that? Someone damaging it, for example.
Vandalism.
Well, that's of course true of anything,
Yeah.
public space.
But we have statues all over town and
Yeah.
monuments that have been, some of them have been vandalized.
Sure.
I'd make the motion to allow this in principle with the details to be worked out later.
Can I would second that motion, but can I have you go back to the slide before this?
Yeah.
That is wrapped in kind of some really bright things.
Let's
Who has a call on what it's wrapped
let's
in?
reveal what he likes, what Petra's husband would prefer. It's quite vivid. He would like it to match the awnings.
Okay.
He'd like a bit beautiful red crimson to match the awnings.
Okay.
This is there's in some environments they paint on them. They have artists do installations, 3 months this artist, 3 months that artist, announcing, he didn't really want that. He wanted a solid color that stays the same. And that's the color he wants, which I think would be gorgeous.
Okay. Thank you.
Paul, how will you protect it from the elements
It doesn't need protection. It's
cement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's concrete.
All right.
So it doesn't require. It's an outdoor piano. Unlike outdoor pianos made of wood that decay, this is a permanent installation.
The
The
keys.
worky musical parts won't be impacted by the seasons?
No,
Are the,
even Iowa weather should be fine.
are the keys concrete?
No, the keys aren't concrete. They're, some kind of durable thing that works outdoors. I haven't actually seen one because of travel, but they seem to work really well, and they're permanent.
Oh, you haven't seen one?
Well, I haven't been to see
Okay.
one. They have this whole website.
I wonder if anyone's played one, or I'm just curious what has anyone had an experience with a piano like this, or this kind of piano?
I don't have any of those people. I could maybe look around for them, but I think my understanding is just like any digital piano.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding. And there's a bench that comes with it.
Also, have you talked to Park and Rec Foundation?
Excuse me?
Have you talked to Park and Rec Foundation to be able to accept donations?
No, I'm not going through them. I'm going through an organization that's somehow hooked in with the Sondheim.
Oh, okay.
They have a nonprofit. They've agreed to be
Okay.
the funnel for that.
Okay,
I don't
Good.
want to.
yeah, as long as you've got something, because that's a lot important to people, they get a tax donation.
Actually. Send it to you, yeah.
So, okay. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to move forward with this. As you get more details, come back and report to council.
What would you need?
What would you like, Doug?
Oh, well, once you raise the money, then we have to work out the details of installation and location, that kind of thing.
Cool. Okay.
I would like someone maybe to speak to who personally experienced the piano you have in mind, or we have some idea the actual one that they'd be purchasing.
Yeah, we can go find somebody from the company.
Yep.
They have some people.
That'd be good.
And how would you like that to be delivered?
Take a field trip and go visit one.
Maybe they can make a call. They could call into the council. I don't have to travel here, but call into the council and speak to us.
If you like.
Yep, I would.
Okay, I'll get a pianist.
Well,
Something
probably a salesperson, right?
Well, sales would be delightful to talk to.
I'm sure.
But if you want an actual musician, that's another story.
Well, I just want to know. It's $50,000 you're going to raise, and that's commendable. The maintenance, I think, is going to be taken care of by whom?
That's part of the fundraising.
Okay.
The ongoing project annually.
If you get that close, I would encourage you to apply for lost funds through the application process we have. If you get within 50,000,
Local option sales tax.
Yeah,
We have
I don't
additional.
really know what that is, but
well, when you get that close, talk to us.
when we have the money, come talk to
When
you.
you get to around $50,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, but it'd be good to have someone maybe speak, pianist, salesperson, both, about the piano that you have in mind and purchasing.
Yeah, they'd love to talk to you, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, so schedule for another meeting next meeting?
Could he even just email us with YouTube videos or something? What do you?
Yeah, I just want to have. I personally, just want to have some idea of what I mean, it's piano. I get that part. It's digital. I understand that. But what it is, what it is you'd be buying and placing on city property. How does it? I see the pictures, but how does it look? How does it work?
They do have a whole website, of course.
Okay.
Would you like, in addition to that, a salesperson to talk to you? Or?
I would, if it's not too much trouble. I don't
No
see what I
trouble.
couldn't call in. Yeah.
No trouble, okay.
Yeah.
And so schedule for next meeting, or?
That's fine.
Okay, I've gone over my time.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul. So again, we do have a motion and a second to move forward. I guess call the roll.
Flournoy,
Yes.
Kness.
Yes.
Toohill,
Yes.
Esty,
Yes.
Gandy,
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Faith Reeves, our sustainability coordinator. Up next.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity to share a brief update of RAC activities with you. Right. So the last time I spoke was late June, and we were wrapping up our each of our subcommittees' individual resilient action plan, their section of the plan. And we had 3 of our subcommittees who had gone through the process of narrowing down early implementation projects. The other 3 have, of course, done that now. Each of our subcommittees have selected anywhere from 3 to 10 early implementation projects that they feel are high priority. They'd love to see those coming forward. The I mentioned this the last time I was here, that we were doing the kicking the can out of the landfill project. We had 3 options with that project. One was an infographic that helped them understand how they might repurpose their trash can at home. 2 was a free workshop where they could come, receive support, materials, a location to do some activities to repurpose trash cans. And 3 was an opportunity to drop off their trash can for recycling. So we achieved all 3 of those. We had 3 weekends of recycling. We were out there Saturdays on campus, 3 weekends in July, and we collected somewhere around 350 trash cans to be recycled. They were collected in a large shipping container and shipped off to Wear Plastic. I would say 310 of those or so went for recycling. Around 40 of them got traded, picked up. People came and picked up cans. And we also took some to the Restore for resale. They sold them right away. We picked some really nice heavy-duty cans. And then, again, some people traded, some people just came and picked up cans. So we had about 40 cans that left the site once they were dropped off. Foodways. We have recently just been focusing on community outreach. This past Art Walk, we partnered with the Fairfield First Friday Art Walk. Marla, we partnered with the Foodways team and had a harvest celebration focused art walk where we worked with our local restaurants. We had 5 restaurants who were willing to purchase from our local farmers. So we figured out what was going to be ready, harvestable, and available September 5th. And we went out to our restaurants and we promoted our local farmers, got them to order produce for, and all produce, got them to order produce for serving for Art Walk weekend. We had a local, boosting local foods booth at the Art Walk where we played local food bingo. We had some really wonderful prizes, Baumgars, Bakehouse, Terry offered up some t-shirts. We gave away some awesome t-shirts. We gave away wonderful bouquets. Deanna had beautiful bouquets. We had farmers market bucks from the farmers market. They donated $300 worth of farmers market bucks, $5 each. So we had a wonderful time. It was a great opportunity to share with the community around the amazing local food system that we do have and can promote more of. We had about 50 individuals who played local food bingo and won prizes. And we were able to give out the map that we created for all of our restaurants and vendors who were serving local. A lot of people put up some local dear to their hearts recipes as part of local food bingo. We and the private land stewardship team have been focusing really intensively on urban water quality. This is a project that we would love to see come forward over the next many years. This is not a short project here, but looking at the sub-watershed of Walton Lake, there's an opportunity right now. There's a lot of energy, so we oriented, our ears perked up around water quality. And so we want to do a little bit of research and investigation around what are inputs coming into Walton Lake, what is the current state of the health of that lake, and what can be done. So over the last several months, our team has been working with Chad Dolan from the DNR, Tyler from the DNR, Michelle from Lake Restorations, Amy Buska from IDOLS, just trying to figure out what opportunities funding-wise are out there and coordinating, planning-wise. So this is a project that you'll see us come to you about quite a bit over the next many months. We'd love to see energy around conservation practices for ag land and nature-based or biodiverse natural habitats. Thank you. But also we're working with the MUM regenerative landscaping class right now. There are 12 students broken down into 4 groups. And we've got 4 private landowners who are willing to have designs made for urban water quality remediation. And so that's something that we're also working around urban water quality, working with those students. It's a new class that just started at the beginning of September. It'll run through the end of September, and they'll come up with some master plan concept designs for those 4 properties. And was that my 5? Am I? Okay, I'm out. Thank you.
Thank you, Faye.
Okay, Terry Baker, CVB.
Good evening, Council, and thank you for having me once again this year to give a report on the activities of Visit Fairfield. You have in front of you our annual report, as well as your restaurant guide supplement, which is our most popular publication right now. It tells you what's open on what day of the week. So be sure that you stash that somewhere and share it because it's very popular. Mayor, you also have a copy of the Iowan magazine. I just received my copies today. These are treasured. Fairfield is featured as a 9-page article in here, which is really fabulous. It's just hit the newsstand, so hopefully we'll be seeing it in Hy-Vee in different places soon. In your guide, your report, you'll find some of our economic development impacts. Our latest, most concrete impact that we have is actually dated for calendar year 2023. That is the most current information we have. 2024 comes out in like a month. So, but we like to go by what's happening with this, and the most significant thing is that Fairfield saw a near almost 15% increase in direct visitor spending in 2023. $22.8 million in direct visitor spending was spent in Fairfield during that year. That's quite significant. We were the second largest growth in visitor spending in the state. So we're really excited about that. I just gave you a few things here with what we're doing in social media, how we're promoting different things, using our paid, our earned, and our owned media. We have different ways that we put Fairfield out into the marketplace. We did have a viral video, which was fantastic. We had over 6 million views of this video and gained over 3,000 new followers on Facebook from this one little video about a turtle. So you never know. We also featured a lot of videos with Travel Iowa. They help us produce those videos as well as they share them on their website. On your next page, you'll see our print promotion, our brochures. Obviously, the Vibe Guide stays top #1 in terms of our main brochure on Fairfield. We are getting requests now somewhere around 500 a month to send those out to people. Plus, they are at every hotel along Highway 80, almost every hotel, as well as different welcome centers across the state. Also this year, one of the things that we did was also a travel guide for international travel. I was certified to work with international travel agents and group travel. To get something going in the next couple of years to bring people over as groups or also as families to travel in Southeast Iowa and using Fairfield as that hub. The other program we're really proud of is our influencer program. This year, in addition to our travel writers, which I know some of you have had that experience of meeting them and having dinner with them, we also have the hummingbirds. These are usually a millennial influencer with a micro influencer with a smaller reach, but local. Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, and so they're creating quite a bit of buzz about our different businesses in town, and they've made a couple of visits here and will be coming back in about 2 weeks. We are seeing some increase definitely in our use of our website as well as the Fairfield 365. We have hired a temporary person to help put events on that page. At any point in time, there's probably at least 80 events happening on that page so people can find out what's happening in Fairfield. And Rachel's been doing a great job of keeping that updated. On the other pages, you'll see these are just some different projects and different things. Our Do More on 34 website is live and active. We also did a pilot project called Move to Fairfield. We worked with Grow Fairfield on that. It has a little ways to go before we're going to see some results in that, but it was kind of an exciting way to kind of put that little drip in the pan and see if we can stir the pot and get some people interested, not just in visiting, but also moving to Fairfield. You'll notice downtown, the downtown kiosk has a new map on the front of it, so we've updated that map and updated it in a way that's going to be easier to update and not to cost as much money as it usually does. And we're also seeing quite a lot of traffic with our e-newsletters. And meetings and trade shows. We continue to put Fairfield out there at different trade shows, different places. And this year we even did a stint at the Iowa State Fair. Under your finances, you'll see our basic revenue and expenditures. You'll notice that there's that discrepancy there. We had several projects that were started in 2025, but we had to delay them or push the payment of those projects into 2026, partly because the state has changed the way it's dance parties. The state has changed the way that it is distributing hotel motel funds. They went from a quarterly basis to a monthly basis. And that has caught both the hotels and everyone else sort of off guard. And so what's happened is we had months where we were receiving no funding because the hotels weren't reporting anything. And so we've had some things where we've had to like shift our cash flow a little bit. But just to let you know how that's happening, the actual hotel motel dispersion for 2025 is $171,810. It's a little bit more than last year. A little bit more, not much. I also gave you some of our data. We spent the last 2 years really trying to collect a lot of data about our festivals, about where people are going, what time of day they come here, what their visitor journey is, so that we can use that to try to enhance our marketing and enhance our events and different activities throughout town. Since my time is up, I will conclude there.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks for all your work you do. Chuck Ledger is going to talk about parking on B Street.
Hello all. I'm Chuck Ledger. My wife Heather Sechrist and I are planning a little gathering at our house, tentatively the weekend of October 18. We'd like to see if it would be allowable for people to park on one side of B Street for a few hours that afternoon and evening.
Is that a weekend?
Saturday night.
Is there no parking on there now?
It's no parking on both sides,
Okay.
but the long, low stretch over Crow Creek, there's really no parking signs there.
Mm-hmm.
They basically start at our house driveway at 808 and start again on the other side. So I think it's safe to assume that it's supposed to be no parking all the way through there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no signs, but I just want to just check it out, see if people can park there without any, getting tickets or whatever.
Can you give us a time?
Mm-hmm.
From when to when? When are you thinking?
4 to 8 or 9, maybe. It's for my birthday, and everybody that's coming is old like me, so they're not going to be there late.
Oh, now we know, Chuck.
No, that's not actually the date of my birthday. That's much later. But wanted to have a little something at our house outdoors. So.
No.
How many cars, Chuck? How many cars?
30, maybe 40.
So, do you have an estimate of how much of B Street you're going to need on your side of the?
I mean,
from
our driveway at 808 all the way down to the next person's driveway, there would be no driveways blocked. So.
Be down
Which side are you
towards that
suggesting?
street.
Pardon me?
Which side are you suggesting? The cemetery
West
side?
side. No, opposite from the cemetery
so.
side. But it could be either side. It wouldn't matter. I was just thinking if it was the west side, then people wouldn't be crossing the street.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to need about 15 feet per car or 12 feet per car?
Roughly. So, what?
If you go
30 at 15 is 450, 500 feet.
if you go clear to the road that goes into campus, is that enough from your driveway to that road?
I think so. There is one person's driveway there along the way before you get to that next street. But, yeah.
I don't think a couple of those houses are even occupied right now.
Well, and B Street's pretty wide, that's a pretty wide thoroughfare. I think even if you had parking on that side, you could probably still fit 2 cars.
I'm pretty sure you could easily have 2 cars meet there.
The biggest thing is you have to make sure they don't park on both sides.
Right, absolutely.
Well, there
absolutely.
is Come to think of it, people park there when there's cross-country meets.
All the time, yeah. Usually on the other side of the street.
Yeah, on the other side.
There's all, but I just assumed that was just kind of let go because it was a school event or,
Yeah.
something community-related.
Right.
Rather than personal, so.
Yeah,
That's any problem.
yeah.
Can we have the police chief speak to this?
Yeah, Chief, got any thoughts?
Do you have any problems?
We're good, as long as we discussed it before.
Can we just bag the signs and?
Fire trucks and, yeah, great on one side, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you need a motion?
Yeah, let's make it official. Make a
Make a
motion.
motion to allow parking on the west side of B Street from 4-ish to 8-ish. Is that
October
right?
18th.
October 18th.
4 to 9.
4 to 9.
Just cover it, yeah.
Probably 4 to 9.
Second that.
Okay. Moved to second to allow parking on the west side of B Street from 4 to 9,
October 18th.
October 18th.
9 o'clock for the party animals.
Yeah. They'll probably
Okay.
all be headed home to go to bed
Yeah.
by
That's
then.
when we'll show up.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Have a good party.
Thank you.
All righty. Next up is Roger Leahy.
Hi, I'm Roger Leahy from Ward 1. Thanks for hearing me. And I am going to talk about the history of the problem and the solution of the problem with the Walton Lake. And some of that, since it's history, some of that may be not new, but I think there's some people that haven't heard it. And I think some of it we discussed in a private meeting, and maybe it hasn't been heard in front of the council. So I'm going to proceed. So the Walton Club has a history there. They've leased that property for 84 years, and they built the golf course on it. They built 2 bridges on that, golf cart bridges on that location, and they had pretty much assumed they would continue that responsibility of maintaining and/or building. I've heard a conversation where some of the members there who were contractors said, "Hey, we could get together and do this in a weekend or something." And so there was a general expectation that they would be responsible until they found out the city was planning to do it. So that's the second point, is in our interpretation, the city misinterpreted the lease, and the city has only, per the lease, to, quote, maintain or repair the bridge, not rebuild or replace it. And there are case studies in Iowa law stating that, repair or maintain does not mean replacement or particularly replacement with an entirely different product than was originally there and a very high capital expenditure. So the city has wanted to do more than just replace in kind. They want a more expensive or overbuilt causeway culvert system that would require draining the lake. Less expensive bridge options were not fully explored. I think I feel like the city could have done a lot more in finding lower cost alternatives. One lower cost alternative, which you've heard about, was Tom Terrian. Back in last October of 24, he turned in some information to, I think, his Ward 1 city council member about a 80-foot aluminum bridge. And recently there's been information, actually a quote on a bridge company out of Missouri was $30,000 to $37,000 bridge quote. And so there are other choices out there that I think due diligence could allow that. So the city's current quote is $196,000, and that's for that big 8x10 box culvert, which itself costs $112,000. And there was some discussion at the last meeting where they say there would be some other expenses. So I have a feeling that means more money, and then there's other tangential costs, like if the city provides free water, there's some estimate that's like $30,000 worth of water at retail, and I've heard it's even $10,000 to connect the irrigation system to city water. So anyway, mitigating the smell, restocking fish. I gotta be faster. Iowa Constitution, Article 3, Section 31 said, quote, "No public money or property shall be appropriated for local or private purposes." The Walton Club has only about 120 golf memberships, I've heard, who use that golf cart bridge. And there's an obvious sign right there before you go across the causeway onto the bridge that says, "Private use only by Walton Club members," or something to that effect. It's a very obvious sign. We've got pictures of it, and we can show you that. We feel the process lacked adequate public notice. Nobody was told, even more recently, that the lake would be fully drained, which is 11.5 feet out of 11.5 feet in the main basin, and likely kill 100% fish kill off. So no public forum was organized to discuss it. We had been told the city council that the property committee would hold public meetings to get input, but no meetings have been called. The city says we own the property so we can do what we want with the lake, but ownership really does not grant absolute rights to ignore the Constitution, fiscal responsibility, the environment, or our public trust. We have received private pledges now totaling $27,000 to either help the Walton Club repair or replace the golf cart bridge, or alternately to use those funds to somehow get the city to stop their current plan to drain the lake and overbuild a causeway culvert system. I've contributed substantially to that myself. And I've also received legal advice, and others in our group have. I spoke with a large law firm who does our company's work, and they quoted a retainer just through the injunctions phase of $25,000. And the estimate through a full court case could easily run us $50,000. Now, we'd much rather support the golf cart bridge with our money than waste it on legal fees, and we'd rather not be going against the city. We've also tried some less cost methods recently. We filed a stay with the DNR because we felt that application didn't bring out all the facts about the fish kill-off and so forth. We've also filed with Rob Sand, the state auditor, and with Brenda Bird, the state attorney general, to see if we can get some further input. So I got a 30-second conclusion. As a minimum, please pause the process, re-examine the lease's actual requirements to repair the golf cart bridge, and work with the Walton Club to renew their lease. Find a way to be fiscally responsible to the taxpayers. And much better is a solution that was proposed in the open letter to the Fairfield City Council concerning Walton Lake. And I think you're going to hear more about that this evening. That would be a win for all parties, the taxpayers, the Walton Club, the Walton Lake residents, the city, and the fish. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Roger. Okay, Ed Hipp.
I'm Ed Hipp. I'm in Ward 4. Listening to Roger and other stuff in lots of these council meetings, sometimes I get this sense that we're in some kind of a cosmic joke here. Like we're a bunch of children playing cowboys and Indians. You guys get behind the fort and defend it, and we'll attack the fort. I mean, as you said, Connie, what we really need is something to bring us together, to help us bridge this chasm. So what better to bridge a chasm than a bridge? This particular bridge is an Overman bridge, built by Overman Steel and Fab in Joplin, Missouri. It's made uses a construction process called steel pipe construction that makes it very economical to build and very, very strong. Oh, I got my files messed up. Okay, so we did look at buying the London Bridge and bringing it over here, but when we saw that we could get a steel pipe construction, we decided, why bring a bridge over that apparently is always falling down? This is another Overman bridge over a body of water. This bridge, our version of this bridge, is going to cost between $29,000 and $37,000. That range is based on the condition of the approaches that are found by Jonathan Overman when he comes to inspect. We did look at a dam at one point, but we felt like it was too expensive and we wanted to save money. We also were looking at the DNR's recommendation where they advised against a dam, even a silt dam, which I think could be extrapolated to the culvert system, where it does lessen the water flow between the two lakes. So the lakes are divided, the north lake silts up and creates a dredging problem. This is another Overman bridge. Our bridge will be rated at 8,000 pounds. A golf cart weighs between 800 and 1,200 pounds. We can actually stage our own traffic jams on our bridge if that's what we want. The only problem with our bridge is that and this will be bad news for some of us who wanted to drive our ambulances across this bridge, you won't be able to drive your ambulance on our bridge. This bridge we looked at, but the price of this bridge includes troubled waters, and we've got enough troubled waters in this project already. $10,000 of the cost of our bridge will be transporting the bridge. So this is a very strong bridge because of the steel pipe construction. It's a cheap bridge because it's prefabricated in the factory and then brought here and installed. Our price of $29,000 to $37,000 will be inclusive of the transportation, which is $10,000, and the installation with the crane. Well, I have to admit, we did buy the Brooklyn Bridge for this, but when we went to claim it, to bring it down here, it turned out that the deed was no good. I don't know how that happened. So we had to start from square one, and square one involved looking at these bridges from Oberman. Jonathan Oberman has talked extensively with Larry Paget, who knows more about the bridge than anybody in this room, and he's talked extensively with me. He has assured us that this bridge is insurable because it's already, Oberman-style bridges are installed on government facilities and on business facilities that absolutely require insurance. So insurance is not an issue here. He has also offered us a 40-year warranty on this bridge. Well, we went up to Madison County and tried to buy one of their bridges. But it turns out the government officials in Madison County love bridges. And they said, if you want a bridge, go build your own. I hope we will. Thank you very much.
Ed, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does your bridge, is it being placed on the current piers that are not safe?
It'll be clearer, absolutely, once Jonathan Oberman can come here, which he's keen to do as soon as we can give him something other than we're tilting against the windmill of city government. If we could get the Walton Club to be authorized to explore this process, we could get Oberman to come and explore. As it is, he has looked at photographic evidence and talked extensively with Larry. Their standard process is our bridge will be 80 feet, the gap is 72 feet. So the Oberman Bridge would go 4 feet on each side. Their standard process, the bridge is 10 inches thick, is to dig down 10 inches, 4 feet past the gap, and then set it in level with the concrete. He said if he gets here and finds that that structure underneath at 4 feet is not good, then they'll stay on top of the concrete, and then they'll have to charge some extra to ramp it up to the level. If it's worse than that and he has to do some concrete, that's when we get to the $37,000. So there are options about how it goes, but none of them, as I understand it, involve sitting on these fallen abutments. Do you get that sense? Is that what we're doing, Larry?
And if he finds that it's not safe at 80
Larry, please come to the microphone.
Yeah. He indicated that if it wasn't safe at 80 feet, they could make it 84 feet. Or I mean, they can manufacture any size, any length of bridge that's going to take for this.
So these are built to order?
Yes.
This will be built to order, and we're paying $250 per linear foot at 8 feet wide to be a cart path, a golf cart road. So if we have to go further, we have to pay $250 for an extra foot. If we have to go a foot on each side, that's an extra $500 on top of either the 29 if we're starting there, or all the way up to the 37. But even at any of those rates, we're still at 40,000 or below.
And he said they would bring up cranes to install this. It'll be completely installed for that $37,000. So we won't have to get an outside contractor to come in and try to set this bridge in. He said 2 to 4 people can put it together and crane it into its spot. So it's pretty simple. He makes it sound simple. I don't know anything about bridges, but very good company. They're known throughout the United States. They have built a lot of bridges for a lot of municipalities, parks. I feel confident with them. So.
Can a person fish off that bridge while a golf cart goes by?
What's that?
Can a person fish off that bridge while a golf cart goes by? Because that's what you have today.
It's 8 foot wide, golf cart's 4 feet.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not a bridge expert either, but it sounds to me like there's a lot of costs missing, but we don't know that yet.
A lot of what?
So, costs missing, because we know the piers underneath are not sound. So.
Well, yeah,
The abutments.
the abutments.
Yeah.
But at $250 a foot, we can go a long ways to
Okay.
find solid ground.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we've moved Ed Noyes down to the bottom. So Vesna, Glavina.
So, Vesna Glavina here, Ward 1, back again. And, well, which of you has ever seen a juvenile heron test its legs in the shallows of a quiet lake, or felt the rush of a bald eagle's wings as it levers its body into the air? Have you ever watched trumpeter swans as they come into land and put aside care, as a young stag, that most hunted of creatures, finds its moment of peace in a small grassy inlet which it too is threatened by our city's unlovable plans for Walton Lake, as it hides its beautiful body and antlers in the ruff of trees that border the lake, which many of them as well will die if Walton Lake is drained. I haven't seen these things myself, but the residents of Walton Lake have and do, and I celebrate a world where such things still are possible. I celebrate the fact trumpeter swans are recovering from near extinction, that they're fussy about their water, that Walton Lake passes muster as a stopover point in their yearly migrations. The fact Don Holting has identified the bird songs and calls of over 60 different species around Walton Lake encourages the rest of us to stand up for our planet rather than writing it off as lost. And many things that I do enjoy, that many of you enjoy, are possible only because Walton Lake extends its quiet welcome to the shy and magnificent creatures who cannot thrive in busier lakes, on busier, more crowded shores. They live as nature fashioned them. Their options, frankly, are few and shrinking. But it's from these precious bits of habitat that they venture out into our skies, into our trail system, into the hearts and future of our children. Put another way, when the rare osprey is able to build its nest in one location, we're gifted the chance to spot it in so many others. It's all a single tapestry. Walton Lake is unique among our public lakes. Killing it impoverishes the rest. I was warned you'd roll your eyes at yet another appeal for environmental compassion. But I don't believe you're so utterly indifferent to this living, breathing, sentient planet and the living, breathing, sentient beings who live here, starting with us, your constituents. And so I implore you please to abandon your current plans for Walton Lake. Goodness knows we all make mistakes. As humans, we're blessed with blind spots and genius, both. The blind spots keep us humble. Genius allows us to soar. The social fabric taps both to the advantage of all. Walking away from the choices we've made, which no longer serve us, is a critical social skill and art. Meanwhile, your disregard for communication, for your budget, and for your constituents have taken a lot of people by surprise. From our side, the citizens of Fairfield dropped the ball in failing to insist you partner with us in a meaningful way. Frankly, we didn't know how much you needed us and let things slide. But your insistence on using a bridge to dig a hole in the very heart of our community forces us to expand the meaning of public-private partnerships beyond the business deals and vanity projects which cause so much exasperation and grief. What kind of hole are you digging? A big one. We're not living on some monopoly board where you can just punch a few holes and continue to play around those holes. The natural world is a web. The social fabric is a web. Trust is a web. Punching holes in webs collapses them. You tell us you own Walton Lake and can do what you like with it. In fact, it's the city that owns Walton Lake, and we are the city. You've reminded us pointedly that it's a man-made lake, but nature has adopted this lake and is using it today to organize this crazy, messy, snowballing opportunity for a community and its leadership to come together in the only social unit that will ever deliver the future we all long for, which is collaboration. Thank you for your time.
James Sinton. James Sinton.
James Sinton, Ward 1. I spent a couple of hours collecting 100 petition signatures or so this weekend at the Art Walk and the Farmers Market in support of a motion for the city to hand over the Walton Golf Club Bridge project to the Walton Club. Nearly everyone I approached signed, and the 3 who would not sign simply never signed petitions. Everyone else was appalled by the city's position, and many thanked me profusely for collecting the signatures and giving them this opportunity to be heard. In many ways, I feel I am speaking for them as I stand before you. Fairfield has been gifted a massive opportunity relating to the Walton Golf Cart Bridge, which can magically transform a difficult, expensive, potentially disastrous situation into a win for all. The emerging legal situation which the city now faces can be avoided if the city chooses to hand the golf bridge project back to the ready and willing Walton Club. The city will save $196,000 plus unspecified additional costs. The lake will not need to be drained, leaving the wildlife undisturbed and allowing residents to enjoy their homes without the stench and heartbreak of watching a lake die. The Walton Lake Golf Club will use existing and promised donations to install a fully insured, fully warranted replacement bridge from a reputable company, as we've heard, for only $37,000 or so, without draining the lake. What a narrow escape. What else does this narrow escape involve? The solution the city is currently pursuing will have a lasting impact on the ecology and function of the lake, even years into the future as the lake attempts to rebirth itself. The current bridge spans actually 71 or 72 feet from one end of the causeway to the other. This stretch of unobstructed water flow allows the lake to function as a single body of water, ecologically. If this is replaced by a single 8-foot by 10-foot box culvert, the gap by which one half of the lake water connects to the other will be reduced by at least 94%. The single box culvert will reduce the flow rate disastrously, effectively creating 2 half lakes with a potential for atrophy in the shallower half in the north and a disturbed circulation for the deeper half lake to the south. A large body of water needs its full circulatory system to benefit from its size. A larger ecosystem can host a more complex diversity of life. Using a single box culvert to connect 2 smaller half bodies of water does not equate to a full-sized lake ecosystem. Lake circulation is influenced by a lake's physiography. Proper circulation is essential for a balanced aquatic ecosystem. Normal lake circulation is complex, affecting oxygen levels, nutrient distribution, fish populations, and the presence of harmful algal blooms. This is why the DNR pointed out that sticking with the current bridge configuration is the best option for the health of the lake. As Fairfield continues to evolve its relationship with the natural world, city leaders will eventually wake up to the importance of restoring full circulation to this precious body of water. At such time, they will face the extraordinary expense of removing the 15-ton box culvert and the expanded causeway, adding to the lifetime cost of the project. Managing this without draining the lake all over again will only deepen our city's regret at overbuilding this golf cart bridge into a massive construction project which Fairfield cannot afford at the moment, and apparently the citizens do not want, and will eventually want to remove. A narrow escape of such magnitude with massive savings to the city seems truly in everybody's interest. A blessing for all. Thanks.
Ed Noyes?
Thank you very much. My name is Ed Noyes. I'm in Ward 1. And just a very quick summation of how the decisions were made, what information was given to the City Council and the subcommittees when they made the determinations that they made. Fundamentally, and most importantly, it was assumed that the city was required to replace the golf cart bridge. They were told, after it was referred, that the probable cause of simply replacing the bridge would be around $295,000. That the culvert system was much cheaper, and that it would be extra beneficial to allow emergency vehicles to cross onto the golf course as a reason for a culvert. That the suspension bridge design offered by Tom Tarian would not meet the requirements of the golf course. And further, that no bridge could be built that was long enough to span the 71-foot opening. This is all part of the public record. At the time of the votes, no one knew that the lake would need to be drained to install a culvert at 12.5 feet, and did not know that this would result in the entire lake going dry except in a small area. Obviously, it wasn't known that all the fish in the lake would die due to oxygen depletion and overheating. You also didn't know that the Walton Club would lose the ability to irrigate their greens with lake water, and that their grass would die unless the city gave them up to $35,000 worth of water out of the Jordan well, which may very well be illegal in and of itself. You further didn't know that the DNR would state publicly that it was healthier for the lake to allow free flow of water under the bridge, obviously preferring the suspension bridge option. That was the public DNR statement at this table. And as James pointed out, that even the improved box culvert concept would block 94% of the water flow. You surely didn't know that the homeowners on the lake would be in an uproar and unanimously opposed the draining of the lake. You didn't know that 316 citizens would sign a petition. You've been given these, by the way. I just have the originals. In a matter of 4 to 5 hours of talking to them. Very much opposed to this. After they read the open letter to the City Council, which was published in the paper and given to each member of the City Council. As a result, you can see that the votes of the City Council and the committee were based on very significant and important misunderstandings and lack of relevant facts. But at least we can understand why the council voted as they did. That was what they were basing their information on, what I just recited. When I looked at this issue, for some reason, the voice of Jesus came into my brain, and he said, when he was being crucified, he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And I think we can apply that in this situation. I think the City Council and the committees can be forgiven. But now we know a lot more. We know a lot more. We now know that the lease only required the city to repair and or maintain the bridge. And perhaps most importantly, that the Iowa Supreme Court, in the case of Post versus Davis County, involving the maintenance of a bridge, specifically held that repair and or maintain did not include replacing with a new bridge. That's the case today. You've been provided that information in a legal memorandum. And further, the Iowa Attorney General's office has also issued a ruling saying the same thing. If you look at it in the light of these court decisions, it is clear that the responsibility for the golf cart bridge has always resided with the Walton Club, just like it did when they built the first two bridges. The city has absolutely no responsibility to pay for the Walton Club's bridge. This is irregardless of the public use doctrine issue, which many feel is a use of public money for primarily a private purpose. It's independent of that analysis. It effectively removes the ability of the city to spend money on this because they simply don't have the authority to do it under the lease. It certainly is an unnecessary expense of the city at a time when the city's budget is in a crisis mode. I was told by a friend that last year, he's on the board of the library, for example, that the city came and said, I'm sorry, we don't have the money to give you. We're going to have to cut your budget by $35,000. This is just one example. I'll finish as fast as I can.
Thank you, Ed.
There are many other examples. We all know about the roads conditions and everything else. We know about the fire station and the problems they're having with the fire station. We know about all this stuff. We also know now that the Walton Club has expressed a willingness to complete this on their own, using volunteers and fundraising drives. And frankly, it's an insult to assume that the Walton Club can't do this. They have an unbelievable array of contractors, construction people. They have a civil engineer that now is part of the club. Roger Drish is a member of the club. They have doctors and people that live on the lake that are already donating for this. They've done it before, and they can do it again. And I think we don't want to insult the spirit of volunteerism. I think the spirit of volunteerism is a very important part of any community. And if they're willing to do it, then all you have to do is give them a lease that says you may do this. They will say yes. I can tell you right now, they will say yes. They will take this over and they will end this. And as a result, we will all be blessed. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers. Well, we've got an opportunity tonight for everyone to be blessed. I was told that this is the most contentious issue that's appeared before the City Council in 10 years. I believe that's probably true. And we have a lot of people that really want this resolved. The legal matter could go on for a long period of time, regardless of what might happen next Monday. You all know that. I'm sure John told you that. It's simply a matter of letting them do it. Simply let them do it. They want to do it, they will do it, like they did before. Finally, you would bless the homeowners. You would bless all the creatures that live there. You would bless the city's budget. And most importantly, you would demonstrate to the people that a decision that you made in the past, that now we know wasn't based on very important information, that you can change your mind, that you can look at it now and say, you know what? That's a better idea. That's a better idea. And save everybody all this money and heal this community.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate everybody being almost on time, under your 5 minutes. We went over a couple times, but again, I want to appreciate that. So I wrote some notes because I feel there is confusion about how we got here. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of things that aren't quite accurate, and kind of bring this around, so hopefully clear up a few things for some of our citizens that don't fully understand what's been going on. And so, first off, I want to say that up until this point, up until now, the city has not taken a different direction. They do feel that they have a contractual obligation, not only with Walton Lake, but also with our bidder that we signed and approved and passed. So it's important that I think this body observes their contractual obligations and follows through. I mean, I don't think you want this board to not follow through on contractual obligations that they have. That's one thing. Going back, last year when the bridge and the abutments were deemed not safe and had to be closed by Calhoun Burns and Associates. At that time, the city directed our city engineer, and with the help of FrenchReneker, we received 3 options. So the council heard 3 options. Culvert replacement, which was an estimate of around $150,000. Replacing the bridge estimate, which was $264,000. And FrenchReneker has those numbers. So, and we looked at widening Walton Road, and that was, not really feasible. So the culvert system was chosen because it was the most cost-effective. Then, the engineering specs were required lowering of the lake to clean out that current bridge and those abutments and replace them. So the cost of the bid accepted was $196,000. Bid, the actual cost and bid was more than the estimate, but far lower than the bridge. And so we looked at backfilling with rock to not lower the lake. Unfortunately, that cost grew to $371,000. And the bridge option to not lower the lake and use cofferdams added another, we don't know for sure, but an estimated guess is $100,000, because cofferdams are expensive to build, and you'd have to build one on each side. So the current box culvert with earth fill is less expensive than the bridge from shore to shore. Lowering the lake is a temporary situation. It's not permanent. I want people to really know that it's temporary. It's not, we're getting rid of it forever. So I'm kind of just giving you numbers and where we've been up to this point, and ask the council if they have any comments.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say something, Mayor, just because I've been at all of our city council meetings, and I've read the newspaper, and I've, read the open letter to the council. And while I'm not going to respond to that specific narrative, because I think that there's a lot of misinformation, I do think it's important to just note how we got here, and the mayor, laid out quite a bit of the history. But essentially, it does come down to the city's liability in this case, because we own the lake, we own all that land that is leased to the golf course. So I understand that this is the city and you are part of the city, but we are liable ultimately for what happens over that lake and what happens around that lake. So if we're thinking about an extra expenditure now, that may save us from additional legal expenses due to our liability in the future. That's something that we're considering too. I also will say that we determined what our liability was. That was based on our city engineers, our city attorney's opinion, as well as outside counsel. And that's what we based some of our decisions on. The fact of the matter is, any bridge that we put there, we would have to lower the lake because of the abutments. The abutments are what the issue is. And so even if we removed the bridge, we would have to lower the lake. And this is coming from our city engineer. I haven't heard an engineer speak tonight, nor at any previous time, who can counter what our city engineer has said, in addition to our outside engineers at FrenchReneker, who has given us their opinions as well. The fiscal responsibility, people are talking about this as a financial decision and how we're really wasting city funds here. If we were really being fiscally responsible, we probably wouldn't lease this land to Walton Club at all. We would lease it to somebody else who would pay more money. But the fact of the matter is that all the decisions the city has made have really been to the benefit of Fairfield and in terms of economic development. Allowing for there to be an amenity like a golf course, whether or not you partake in that or not, it's still an amenity and it still improves the economic development in Fairfield. Residential development out there, I know a lot of you have benefited from that decision that the city has made. And I think that everybody is just ignoring these previous decisions and the use of foresight that the city has used in making these decisions. So I see a lot of really grouchy people out there staring at me. But I will also point out that, as the mayor pointed out, we have entered into a contract at this time. Any additional legal or quasi-legal or agitation is costing the city, you, more money. That's what's happening. So I appreciate that everyone's really upset and they want to continue to see through all of these legal actions, but we've already entered into a contract. And any other bridge that we would look at would require a lowering of the lake.
So
I haven't heard from an
Time out.
engineer who said otherwise, and that's what I'm going to be basing my opinion on.
Okay, thank you. And please, your side is done now. We're hearing from the
Yeah,
council.
it's my time to talk.
So, Doug?
Yes.
I think you had some comments.
I do have some comments. All right, so first off, I want to say that we have an obligation to be good, if not exceptional, stewards of taxpayer money. I've done a lot of international grants through Rotary. Our motto is we treat the money that's given to us to fulfill a project as if it were a sacred trust. And I think the council should adopt the same attitude toward the money that we receive from taxpayers. It's also incumbent upon us that we maintain trust of our citizens and that we work on maintaining and building that trust continuously. And if we don't, it will slowly erode to the point where we're in the situation we're in now. And even before that, typically people do not trust government. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we do everything we can to encourage their trust and faith in us. They judge us by our actions, not by our words. So over the past few months, I've come to the conclusion that we failed on both of these counts on this particular case. So it's absolutely clear to me that this bridge replacement is not a responsibility of the cities. That's a discretionary expense. Why are we going down this road? I don't think we've gotten a very clear answer as to why we're doing it this way. And I don't think the public has received a satisfactory answer either. And most citizens do not oppose projects for which they have a clear understanding of the justification for it. And that's not present in this situation. Council has been advised to dig its heels in, to maintain the position that we are the decision makers, that the Walton Club is our property, and that we can do with it as we please. These are quotes or paraphrases that have actually been used. I think that position is wrong. This behavior is not a reflection of good governance. It's not. It's not the way you talk to your citizens. You don't threaten them with legal action. You don't bully them. You have to listen to them respectfully. Aside from that, we've already talked about the money. Okay, not everything that was said here on the council side is accurate either, to my knowledge, and I was party to most of those decisions and conversations. But all that aside, the cost today is about $196,000. It'll be higher than that. The true cost is higher than that. To look at the fire station as an example, we're building a fire station that's going to be on the order of $7 to $8 million. I think we're over $8 million now. We had set aside a contingency of $500,000. Contingency is for unexpected costs. We've already spent over $400,000 of that contingency, and we have not even laid a single brick yet. So that means we have about $50,000 to $70,000 of contingency money left. I think we're going to need money for that building, more money. So I don't think this is a wise expense, since it's a discretionary expense, in light of that situation, I question whether it's a good decision. Our employees have been run through the ringer. They are stressed out. They are spending a lot of time and energy on this matter. They're expending not only time, but their physical strength and their emotional strength. Might be at the end of its rope for some people. I think we've seen some evidence of that. And I don't think it's fair for the city to continue to run them that way, considering the fact that they're already overworked. Adding this additional burden on top of their work week, evenings, etc., is a fair condition to put on them. It does them a disservice. I asked the DNR when they were here what the best option is for that lake from an ecological point of view. The DNR told us clearly, without hesitation, bridge is best. It's on the YouTube video. I watched it with the city administrator one day. It's quite clear. We're going to find out, I guess, when the state auditor reports in whether this is an allowed expense under the fair use provision with the Constitution of Iowa. I have asked council that because of the trust issue, and I told them, I can answer questions all day long, and I can tell you, a citizen, what our city engineer said, or what the city attorney said, or whatever, and citizens don't care because they don't believe us at all. And I was seeking out an objective third party to give us an unbiased, uninvolved decision. I didn't get a positive reaction, but I understand other people are pursuing those avenues, and so we will eventually find out what the facts are in that regard. The fact that the bridge option would cost more, and I know that quotes from FrenchReneker were $256,000 and $275,000 from the other engineering firm. And that was more than the culvert design, which was estimated at $200,000 by the city engineer. The original bid by Drish was $146,000. We started that project, and after we got into it, we found out we needed more of the rounded culverts to make the span, and that raised the price to $196,000. And that's how we got to that number. Notwithstanding the fact that the bridge option would cost us $50,000 or $55,000 more, well, why aren't we doing it the right way and spend the extra money rather than shortchange the lake and the community and doing something less than what's best recommendation by the DNR? If we can't afford to do it right, maybe we shouldn't do it just yet. And when we can't afford to do it correctly, then we'll do it that way if it's going to be allowed by the auditor. We want to make that decision later. But why should we shortchange the opportunity we have now to do it the correct way? It's irreversible, well, virtually irreversible. So if the DNR had been brought in earlier, we might very well have made a different decision. But we didn't have that fortune of their advice. And I think now we can see there are gaps in the way we made this decision. We weren't fully informed, and we have gained a lot more information since we started this project. So I would like to make the motion that we place this project on pause and allow the Walton Lake community, in cooperation with the Walton Lake Golf Club, to explore and implement a solution of their own choosing. So when they bring their gentleman up from Missouri to look at this construction site, then we will know what has to be done to put one of his bridges in, and we'll have a final answer on that. There's no doubt that that bridge would be insurable, and well, we've had a bridge like that there for 80 years, and there was never a question asked about it. So that's my motion to the council, that we pause this project and allow them to go forward with their investigation.
So I would like the parliamentarian, Mr. Morrissey, since we don't have that kind of discussion on our agenda, can he make that motion at this time, or do we need to put it on the agenda for next time?
Well, you might have to put it on the agenda for next time, and it probably needs more to it. We have an argument with the Inspection and Appeals Division on the DNR permit next Monday, and if we're going to pull this thing off the table, that leaves us some other circumstances that we have to rectify as far as the state of things that have already happened. This thing, when it was bid last spring...
The question is, can I make the motion or not? That's all.
Well, were we making statements? Weren't you
In fact, I've already made the motion.
Were you
so
asking
you
council to
here.
make statements? Weren't we in the process where council were making, you asked council for statements?
I did ask the council for statements, and
You
he
made
gave
your
a statement and he made a motion, but I'm concerned that we need to, we weren't expecting, that topic isn't on as an action item here.
If I may.
That we should put that as an action item on the next council meeting.
We do make motions based on the topics in the public forum and appearance section. In fact, we made one tonight giving Paul Stocksted the go-ahead for his piano. I'd like to second the motion.
Thank you.
That's true, but having a piano in the park is way different than the topic that we're here. So
I'm
anyway.
sorry, Mayor, but the nature of the motion is irrelevant. The privilege is to make the motion, regardless of whether you like it or not.
I'm not saying whether I like it or not. I just want to make sure that we're doing it the proper way. That's all.
We're doing it just like we did
Does
the
a
piano.
parliamentarian speak?
All right, well, if you want the rest of my thought on it, it does need to be an action item. It does need to be on the agenda. I think if there's people on the other side of this that want to be part of that when the council acts, they definitely wouldn't have any notice of it tonight, which has been a complaint of the group all summer. This thing is coming to this point as far as both what I'm going to call the pending legal situations that also have to be rectified, and the pending appeal argument next Monday, which, if you do the motion, probably that has to be explained to Inspection and Appeals and withdrawn as far as our motion on it. If that's going to be part of the full discussion here, you should be discussing the rest of that before you talk about a outcome determinative motion like this. And probably you can rule it out of order, and then the council can determine whether they want to override you. And that's probably a motion that there's probably a couple people here that might be inclined to make. So my suggestion is allow the continued discussion, then see what the motion turns into. If it's still the same motion, if you overrule it, the council has an opportunity to use parliamentary strength as far as a 2/3 overrule to still go ahead with it. So that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay, so will you repeat the motion again?
Is to place the project on pause until, could you repeat the rest of that?
Should I describe the project in detail?
No, just the motion.
So my motion, as I've written it down here, I don't know what I said a minute ago, was I move that we place a pause on this project, meaning the Walton Club Bridge project, and allow the Walton Lake community, in cooperation with the Walton Golf Club, to explore and maybe implement a solution of their choosing for this project. And I'd like to have a roll call vote.
So there was a second to that motion.
Now, is that a reversal of a previous motion?
Sorry?
Is that a reversal of a previous motion? I mean, the council voted, I believe, to award a contract to the Drish Construction Company to proceed with this project. So that was a motion that was approved by the council. So this is a reversal of that motion.
No, it's a pause.
the pause of the motion.
So the word I used specifically was pause. I chose that on purpose.
So I'm not that's a change because we had voted
Well,
to.
it is a change.
So we had voted to go ahead and proceed, and we had rewarded the project to the Drish Corp Construction Company some months ago.
Right.
So if this is a pause, if you call it a pause if you want, but it's a reversal that requires.
It's a pause. Pause.
It requires, I believe, parliamentary. Does that require a supermajority?
Simple majority, but
a supermajority.
Well,
I'm asking him.
No, I think it's simple, Paul.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so let's have discussion on the motion.
If I wanted to cancel the project, I would. If I wanted to do it that way, I would ask to rescind that prior motion.
Right,
I'm
right,
not asking
right.
for that.
Okay.
Hold it.
What does
Hold
a
it. Hold
pause
it.
look
Hold
like
it. Hold
with
it.
a contract that we've already signed?
Let's get some times down as far as the parliamentary process here. Last spring, you approved a bid. The bid was awarded after the approval. You had 30 days. Everybody at the lake had 30 days to file a motion for certiorari to challenge that and stop it. That didn't happen. Then we got into this discussion about all the different environmental considerations and things that should be changed and so forth. And that's been going on all summer, but the award of the contract wasn't ever timely challenged as far as certiorari. So that contract's out there and it's been sitting there all summer. That's one thing. When Paul's asking about are we rescinding a prior action, you could have made a motion to reconsider that last spring. The council meeting after your action in the positive is when you make a motion to reconsider. That didn't happen with the council, and the citizens didn't take any action to move a court in what they call certiorari for a wrongful determination. And that's been a fixed situation ever since that letting and award. So that's something else you've got to consider what you're doing here right now. Coming forward, you've been looking at other ways to do it cheaper. You've been looking at other ways to get around honoring the contract that's been in effect since last March, actually. That's when the decision was made about going forward with the lowest bidder. So you've got that to deal with on top of whether you're also going past 2 meetings ago, this council did an action item after the engineer talked to you about going forward, and your motion at that time was to go forward. Then you had a special council meeting after there was a stay that was a result of getting a permit for a drawdown, and coming out of closed session, a motion to vacate the stay was filed, and that's what's coming up for a hearing next Monday. Now, that's the status of the legal calendar right now, but that's only part of what you're considering here, because what I think you're doing is about 1 meeting late, doing a motion to reconsider what you said about going ahead 2 meetings ago. And at this point, Paul's question about whether you're rescinding a prior action, probably what you're trying to do, isn't it, going back and reconsidering the motion to go ahead 2 meetings ago? Isn't that what's really going on?
I'm just asking the council to pause and let them proceed with their analysis with their gentleman from Joplin, Missouri, I think it is, right?
Technically, we're legally paused anyway.
We are.
We cannot proceed with this. So
Yeah, you're still-
why would it
you're
make
Terry-
it
you're right,
worse
Terry.
for us to just pause it on behalf of council rather than just waiting for legal opinions? So then when the legal opinions come back, then we can make a decision based on all of the information that we didn't have in March of this year. We didn't have that information in the meeting after that we could have rescinded it. We didn't have any of the information for the first 3 months.
Right. And if the...
There's no requirement in my memory to rescind within a certain number of meetings.
Now, there's a parliamentary rule that you reconsider at the meeting following the meeting at which you took the...
But what about extenuating
I think you're wrong about that, John.
Well, right now, the other circumstances here, which we have no control over, trump anything that's parliamentary. This appeal that we have to respect what the stay is from the Department of Natural Resources and from the Inspection and Appeals.
Okay.
If they say next Monday that they think the stay should be lifted, you're going to be back where you were 2 meetings ago. And at that point, the last thing in our minutes with our clerk from 2 meetings ago is that we should proceed. So at that point, if you're saying that in the event the stay is lifted, that you want to reconsider the motion to proceed, that's what I think your motion is right now.
We can unpause it whenever we want. I believe that the rule that you're referring to is if you want to do a rescission, you have to do it no earlier than the next meeting. That's not the limit as to when you can do it. You can rescind a prior motion whenever you want. The earliest you can do it is the next meeting, not the same meeting where the motion passed.
All right, well, you can always do it with the permission of the council by just defeating the ruling of the chair, which from my perspective here, the mayor was asking me, what do I recommend? And I thought the ruling of the chair is probably that this is not timely. But that's my opinion as far as parliamentarian.
That's not in coherence with the experience of this council.
Yeah.
That ruling is not in coherence with what we have done. In fact, we have often, I would guess, I would go through carefully and look at it, made motions on actions that were not on, made motions on items that were not on the agenda.
Agreed.
So, I'm not going to also argue that. I just felt like this was a very important issue, that it would be nice to know where we stand after next week's meeting. However, we're in the discussion portion, so what questions or discussion more about this motion?
I think that it would be prudent for us that if we put a hold on it by council, then we get the opinion of the inspection and appeals, and then we can have another conversation about the right way to proceed.
And we allow them to bring their gentleman up from Missouri and look at.
Correct.
He may come up here and say, "You can't do it for less than $250,000." I don't know what he's going to say, and they don't know either because it hasn't happened yet. Why don't we find out what the answer is and get this settled?
Please don't clap. I mean, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't clap. I know you're cheering for that, but again, this is a business meeting. We need to hear people, and when you clap, I can't hear, and these sides can't hear each other, so it's important that we just all listen.
I'm just kind of curious, what information did we not have previously? Because you just mentioned, Terry, that we didn't have this information.
We didn't know the lake would be drained when we made the decision. We didn't know it for, I don't know how long. I mean, it was just more and more would come out that, changes to what we thought the original plan was. And maybe I wouldn't have cared, I don't know, but if we were planning on draining the lake, I would have thought we would have talked about it in that meeting when we made the decision to do this style of bridge or culvert that we were going to do.
We did, but we didn't think 11, and we still don't know if 11.5 feet.
We didn't talk about it when we approved that. Absolutely not.
We talked about drawing down because we were under the impression that the last time we did that, the lake was quite a bit deeper than that.
I think that conversation happened after we approved it. I really do. I could be wrong, but I don't think that we had that information when we made that decision.
That's my impression as well, Tom.
We had a lot of meetings.
So, okay, so let's say that maybe we got that information. We didn't know entirely what that meant. Since that time, we have found out that the lake would have to be drawn down regardless of any bridge that was put there, even if we wanted to replace the bridge. And that's what Melanie said at our very last meeting. There would have to be a drawdown just to remove all of those abutments.
To your point, we haven't heard from an engineer tonight, but to me, this design looks like it doesn't use abutments. It might use footings that are put 10 feet away from the lake that then support that. And that could be an expense that is incurred by whomever does the bridge.
But why would we offload our own liability?
Because it shouldn't have been our liability to begin with.
It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been, but it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It is.
They cited case law that shows that repair does not mean replace.
okay.
It doesn't change
I'm
the
not-
fact you own the
I'm not going
bridge
to listen
site.
to that case law. If somebody's going to go and petition the Supreme Court, I didn't construct a bridge because it says in my contract maintenance, like, you can't listen to somebody just saying, picking and choosing different things from legal opinions without knowing all of it.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I think that, you know, the fact of the matter is we had an engineer who looked, multiple engineers who looked at all of the different options. So what information did you feel like we didn't get from them?
I think that we just got information later after we'd already made a decision of certain circumstances that exist.
Information that's changed your mind.
Well, I felt this way the whole time, but that's besides the point because I was the only one that felt that way. So.
Okay, when DNR changed my mind, or started changing my mind.
We've been meeting and
DNR was
discussing
here.
this since May of last year.
Sorry?
We've been meeting and discussing this issue since May of last year. Now, some people have become recently involved, but we've been meeting and discussing it since May of last year. That's over a year ago. And that includes meetings with the Ways and Means Committee, looking at the financial aspects of this project. That includes meeting with the Property Committee, looking at other aspects of the project. That includes closed sessions when we discuss particular matters of the project. That includes public forums when you ask anyone who's interested to appear at the meeting. We publish these everywhere we're supposed to, on Facebook, on our Facebook page. You can go and see we publish what we're supposed to according to the law, and we've invited everyone, begged everyone to show up, and now they show up. Where were you a year ago? May of 2024. May of 2024. We were telling you we were very interested in this project. We had to review it. We were inviting people to show. We had property committee meetings. We had Ways and Committees meetings. We had several meetings of the full council, and we've been discussing it and analyzing it and reviewing it for months on end. We finally made a decision in March of this year, and we're proceeding. It was only until recently, I think this meeting, that we're hearing that there's some people in council who want to change the decision. That's fine, but you have to go through a process because we've already committed, we've signed the contract. We're liable, we're responsible. The city is. The city is. I trust the city government. I trust the people on this council. Do they make mistakes? Sometimes. But have we made a mistake in this case? Based on what I'm hearing tonight and what I've heard in the several meetings, no. It's still the right decision. It's still the right decision. And I think the best way we're going to prove that this is the right decision is for us to do it. You'll see that what we're doing is not causing the problems, the catastrophic problems you've concerned yourselves about. This reminds me of years ago we had something, let's see, what was it? The grain bin elevators. We were told that the grain bin elevators, if they were going to be built, would be incredibly damaging to the city. We were going to have layers of soot all over the city. We were going to have roads torn up by the 24 hours of trucks running through the city from the grain elevators. Well, it was built, and guess what? Turned out to be a nothing burger. I think when this is built, when this project is completed, we're going to have the same situation. You're actually going to be, this is an odd thing, and I'm going to get some sneers, but you'll be thanking the city. You'll be thanking the city for what we've done because it's going to improve the lake, improve the value of the people, the property of the people who live there, and all the citizens of the city are going to be able to enjoy a refreshed lake, a stronger structure with the bridge, and it'll be a benefit to all of us. So the idea of postponing it and delaying it until we finally give up, to me is a non-starter. We've already done the due diligence. We've done it for months and months, and we have invited you. We continue to invite you, and I'm happy that you're finally on board with listening and paying attention and giving your input. I like your input. I appreciate your input, but I'm not hearing anything that changes my mind. I'm not hearing anything that changes the direction the city should go. So we're going to continue. I mean, there could be other council members who feel otherwise. That's their right. But I trust the council. I think people up here are trying to do the best they can. They are doing the best they can. Maybe it's not what you agree to. Maybe it's not what you agree with. But we're doing the best we can now. We're going to continue to do the best we can. And right now, for me, it means continuing in the direction we've already started over a year ago.
Matt, we haven't heard from you. Do you have any comments?
I see no harm, personally, in giving the residents of Walton Lake the opportunity to bring up their man from Missouri to look at it. And if we're given details of the quality of the bridge and how it might affect reliability and if the bridge is strong enough, and if the man from Missouri who is a bridge constructor does feel he can build a bridge for cheaper and they want to pay for it, I don't see any risk on our side in letting them take the initial steps So that's where I stand. I think that there is a very high chance that we will find out that they can't build the bridge for less than $250,000, but we might be surprised.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah, a couple things I'm really intrigued. Mr. Hipp's idea tonight looks great, and this is the first time I've seen something like this, and I'm intrigued. I don't know where it's going to go from there, but I am. There were a few things that were kind of thrown out as fact that we kept this secret. I'm chair of Ways and Means, and we had one of the first meetings on this, and it was so well attended that we had to move it into this room because so many people were here. And I see a few people here today that were at the first meetings. We went through a number of those meetings, and there was never a concern or a question or anything raised by anybody when we asked in the direction that we were moving. And that gave us the go-ahead to move forward where we're going. The fact that Walton wants to take it over was one of the very first options we proposed to him. And it was quickly, flatly turned down. That they had no interest, the board had no interest in taking over or doing any construction on the bridges. We thought that might be the best alternative at the time too. That was vetoed right away by Walton board. And I understand why. I understand the position. So, and I can't say I blame them for it either. So we've moved forward on this, on every step we've done so far, thinking and really knowing we're going in the right direction. It's frustrating on our end, very frustrating on our end. We don't enjoy this at all, trust me. But I love the passion. I wish it would have been here a year ago when we had these meetings. It wasn't. We never heard any objection at the time. We've done a lot of work. We've moved a long way. And I don't think stopping now is the right move. It's going to cost us more. It's this culvert system and replacing the bridge. The reason we chose that is because it was cheaper than repairing the bridge that's currently there and making it structurally sound. It was cheaper for us to put a culvert system in than it was to repair the bridge that's there. I stand by every decision we've made, whether you agree with me or not. You know, that's totally your prerogative. I understand. But I don't think stopping or pausing or turning around at this point is a good idea. I don't think there's a better option out there. And we've done a lot of research. If Mr. Hipp's idea comes in and, you know, he's got plenty of time to come. We don't meet again for another 2 weeks. We can't vote on anything right now. If he comes in with a good idea, great. But we haven't seen one yet, is all I got to say.
Okay, with that, any other comments? Will you please read the motion again one more time?
To place a pause on the Walton Golf Club Bridge project and allow Walton Lake Community and Golf Club to implement a different plan.
That's not quite what I said.
Repeat it again.
I will.
Okay.
And Doug, does that have to be, let's say, doesn't this council have to approve that, or no? That plan? Is that what you're thinking in the end?
Okay, if someone wants to modify the motion, they're welcome to, but my motion was to place a pause on the project and allow the Walton Lake community, meaning the people who are owners of property around the lake and other people in the city who are also interested in coming to various meetings, so I don't want to exclude them, in cooperation with the Walton Golf Club to, okay, I had written here, implement a solution, but let them bring their gentleman up from Missouri to explore the options and see if they can implement an alternative plan that they have in mind.
Does that mean present it to the council?
I presumably it would come here before they actually pull the trigger on it. Yes.
Wait.
Well, without
Pull
a
the trigger, what do you
proper
mean?
replacement plan, we wouldn't cancel what we're doing, so.
Right. I mean, presumably.
What do you
Although it's
mean?
not clear whether we can and whether we're obligated to do that in the first place. But
What do you mean by pull the trigger? What do you mean?
start the project.
Who?
The Walton, the Walton Club and the community there.
I see.
If they want to implement one of these bridges, you know, I think they would be courteous probably and come here and tell us what they're doing. And what I expect to get a report from the gentleman who comes up from Missouri and come and talk to us about it, I suppose. I mean, it could be a cooperative thing. It doesn't have to be we hand it off to them and forget about it.
Well, I think that's what your motion says.
What, you want me to reword it and say, okay, they'll make a report back to us and we'll have a cooperative arrangement because we're all members of the same community. Get all that? Do I have to spell that out really? I mean, really, do I have to spell that out in the motion?
I just don't understand it, that's all.
Okay, so, well, you worded in a way that
No, I'm not making a motion.
Well, you want to make an amendment, though. That's what
No,
you're
I
doing.
don't.
You are making an amendment.
No, I'm trying to understand it, that's all. Just understand it. What's the language? Because you said several things.
Okay.
What is
Put a
it?
pause on the project.
Okay, I got that.
That the Walton Lake community and cooperation with the Walton Club, Golf Club, to explore this alternative plan that they have, allow their gentleman from Missouri to come up here and look at the construction site and give his opinion as to whether it would be feasible for one of his bridges. That hasn't happened yet. We don't know if it would. And offer, I guess you give us a quote, or you'll quote, and let them, if you wanted to come here for us to like see it and approve it, is that what you're asking?
No, what is your motion? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking if you just ask what it is, that's all.
What if you just make it simple, Doug?
I'm trying
And
to.
say,
I'm not asking.
put it on pause until alternatives have been explored.
Okay. I'll make the motion to put the project on pause.
Because there's a lot then that has to happen after that.
Yes, there is.
To even implement anything.
And allow the Walton Lake community and the Walton Golf Club to explore alternatives.
Can we have some more discussion?
Implies that.
I'd like to ask a question of Mr. Noyes.
She asked her to read back the motion. I just changed it, so let's have her read it back before
Okay,
we
hang on, John.
change it before we go on.
Place Walton Golf Club Golf Cart Bridge project on pause and allow for alternative to be explored
Well, mention the two communities that are going to be involved, I guess, to allow the Walton
by the
Club
Walton Lake community
in cooperation.
and cooperation with the Walton Golf Club.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Council, have no discussion.
so now let's do discussion quick one more time. John, what's your comment?
Well, I'd like to ask Ed, and this is a friendly question, Ed, if you would consider asking the inspection and appeals to delay the hearing pending whatever comes of this motion.
I think that is a very fine idea, and I would 100% agree to it.
All right, now tell you the reason that I think that's important.
And John, will you repeat that one more time?
I've asked him if he will communicate with inspection and appeals that there should be a continuance of the hearing scheduled on my request for an expedited hearing next Monday, but that should be continued because of this motion, which is pausing the project. That's your understanding, Ed?
I think it should be a mutual agreement, John. to continue.
So you're saying if we haven't voted, so you're saying if this passes, you want him to do that?
Here's my concern is if we mutually agree, Ed, the city's basically conceding some liability to our contracted for bid holder that hasn't said a word in this whole dispute so far. And they're expecting to see the results of the appeal next week to determine if they can go forward with anything this fall. So if that's going to be postponed, I want it to be your request that it be continued while the residents are having an opportunity to explore that option. It isn't the city that wants to explore the option as much as your residents having it explored. So otherwise, we're setting up the city for an exposure to liability with a third party, the contractor that already holds the contract.
Well, I'm happy to make that motion, John.
All right, well, that's, all right.
So I am concerned about the time frame here because of that issue. You know, I hate to ask for another.
No, we have a motion, we have a second, we have a discussion.
Okay, just know that we can't pause until a year from now.
And this is a suggestion from our city attorney. Council makes a decision.
Okay, so let's.
Thank you, Paul.
Let's call the roll. See if it passes.
Flournoy.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Gandy.
No.
Toohill.
No.
Esty.
No.
Kness.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 3-3 vote. That's a tie. It does not move forward. Okay. So let's move on to resolution, action items, and ordinances. So the first action item is consideration of engineering services agreement with FrenchReneker and Associates for aerial services. This came up last meeting and was tabled till now. There was no action. It looks like I'm just going to say my understanding is if we put in a boat ramp with a cost of about $2,500, DNR can do this water part for free, and so the aerial services doesn't sound like are needed. That I'm getting a head shake from Melanie that's correct. So obviously a boat ramp is going to be a little less expensive than the aerial services agreement with FrenchReneker. So
the aerial services agreement would have gotten shoreline and anything above the water. DNR only is going to do below the water. But yes, so there would have been some doubling up, and I think at this point that this agreement just gets tabled or canceled or voted no on, whatever the proper procedures are, and that we can bring it back if needed going forward, since DNR will handle the stuff in the water.
We can just simply take no action on it.
Yeah, that works for me.
So.
But I guess I do want to point out, though, that DNR can only do their work if we install a boat ramp, which council has not directed staff to do yet. So, just bringing that up.
Can we start tomorrow?
It's not on our agenda, so
I know
you
it's
can't
not.
direct staff to do it, but I have done an estimate. I've talked with Joe Hurd and DNR on what would be necessary in order to build it, do a rock boat ramp with some larger stone, and then capping it with some smaller stone, and then using some baller or some wood posts and some chain. You see a lot of county parks that have parking lots that are similar to that that we can use to outline the boat ramp, and it came up to be $2,500 for the materials. So that would not include any of the city's labor.
It would really be nice if we get them into the lake this fall. That's what they really want.
Yeah, their schedule would not allow them to be, at this point, they would not be in there this fall, at least not to do the sonar. I don't know about the fish or anything with, as far as that. But yeah, we can put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay, so I thought the drawdown was going to interfere with that, but apparently we might be able to squeeze it in.
And I'm not sure, and I will need to talk to DNR on how, so part of the boat ramp has to be under the water, and if you're doing a concrete boat ramp, you build it on shore and you push it into the water. If you're doing a rock one, I need to talk to him a little bit about how our guys would construct that without the lake being lowered. And so I will get some more information before the next meeting.
Okay, so your plan right now is if we put the boat ramp in now, they would come in next spring to do the analysis.
To do the LiDAR, I don't have an answer on when they were going to do any of the other things because of the stay. Because of the stay, we're not allowed to the city staff is not allowed to talk to DNR. Marcus had reached out to them and they said that their schedule for the contours would be in the spring.
General consensus, is that okay? We take no action?
Just
Okay.
be quiet.
Okay, and then, yeah, we'll put that on the agenda next time.
The boat ramp.
The boat ramp. Okay. Next action item, consideration of change order number 2 for the fire station. This is a change of an additional $26,301.59. My understanding is this is partially related to additional expenses because of tariffs and some state building codes. We had to increase the sprinkler sizes.
Yeah,
Correct?
who knew the state was concerned about the sprinkler system in a fire station, but they are. And so about half of this change order is from some sprinkler changes, and the other half is related to tariffs. And the change order includes all the documentation of the price changes. They counted every single fitting in order to justify that change.
I make the motion we approve change order number 2 for the fire station.
Okay, moved by Flournoy to
Second.
approve change order number 2 for the fire station, second by Gandy. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Flournoy.
Yes.
Gandy.
Yes.
Kness.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Toohill.
Yes.
Esty.
Okay, we'll move to action item, consideration of proposal of seal coat services. This is a budgeted item. The amount is $42,983.40, and it is here because it is over $40,000.
I make the motion that we approve the seal coat services for, I think it's Walton Drive,
It's all of the
Walton Circle and
yeah,
that
Walton
area.
Lake Road and Walton Lake Circle and Walton, yeah, everything south of Walton Road.
Okay, moved by Flournoy. Second by Esty. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Flournoy.
Yes.
Esty.
Yes.
Toohill.
Yes.
Kness.
Yes.
Gandy.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Okay, that was passed unanimously for the seal coat services. Next action item is consideration of proposal of locker room floor services. This is to replace those floors in the locker rooms at Park and Rec.
So this is with Pro Maintenance. Again, it's over $40,000, which is why it's coming to you. It's a budgeted item. This is the same company that Calvin got a quote from, or that did the pool decks. They will be removing the old floor and doing the patching and sanding as they did before, and then putting in the new surface similar to the pool deck. Also included in this is a generator rental. Found out during the last one that the rec center does not have enough power supply in order for them to do their work continuously. So they did include that in there. We will have, once this is signed, we'll have a small change order of $429 to include a bond. Any work over $25,000 by state law is required to have a bond. And they did not include that in their original proposal of, but at this time we are just awarding the $45,625.85 to Pro Maintenance of Hutchinson, Minnesota. Please.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Moved by Gandy,
Second.
second by Flournoy. Any discussion?
I'm all in favor of this, being in a locker room. God.
And Calvin, the message from Calvin tonight said that the expected close date of the locker rooms is September 22nd. I don't know what day of the week that is. I assume it's a
Sunday.
Is that
Isn't it Sunday? Isn't the 21st Kiwanis Kids Day?
Yes, so it would be that Sunday that they'll close.
22nd's a Monday.
No, it's a Monday.
It's a Monday,
Sorry.
okay, all right. That they'll close. I'm not sure if Calvin has some work to do before Pro Maintenance comes in, but that is the expected date. They normally close for a minimum of 2 weeks to do maintenance anyway in the fall, but we're looking at a September 22nd start date.
Okay, so we got a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Gandy.
Yes.
Flournoy.
Yes.
Kness.
Yes.
Toohill.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Esty.
Yes.
Great. Are you approved unanimously for the locker room floors? The next is a resolution, consideration of contract for grant application assistance with Area 15 Regional Planning. This has to do with our sewer system improvements.
So this is step 4. We have not used regional planning in the last couple grants, but we had a good conversation with them about using them with using SRF, or potential of using SRF and CDBG. So this agreement is to have regional planning do the environmental work for $3,500 in order to do a CDBG application. If CDBG funds community development block grant, if it is awarded, then the city will have an additional $5,000 reimbursement for helping with the grant application. But if we are not awarded anything, our cost amount is just that $3,500.
I move that we approve the, I can read it here.
Agreement with Area 15.
Yeah, the Regional Planning Commission.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gandy. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flournoy.
Yes.
Gandy.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Esty.
Yes.
Kness.
Yes.
Toohill.
Yes.
Thank you. Next resolution, consideration of memorandum of understanding with Jefferson County Conservation Board.
So this is something that Sean Morrissey, and I always, when I talk about Sean, I always have to say Sean with an S, not John with a J, to make sure that everyone hears correctly. But I'm working with Sean Morrissey. Before they built the new RV park off of Key Boulevard, we had some back and forth on the design. They were going to be connecting to city services, both sewer and water. And so the planning office and the engineering office reviewed those. When we were looking at the looking through those plans, we saw some potential for kind of a mutual benefit, and primarily it was that we could upsize the sanitary sewer so that it could handle more than just the park. That if there was anyone else on that side of Key Boulevard that would that I would say north of Libertyville Road and west of Key that needed to connect to sanitary sewer, it would be good to upsize the sanitary sewer to be able to take those people in the future. And then we had some back and forth on what fees they would pay as city customers, and continued to have that discussion. They have that built and opened, and we have, for lack of a better term, have acted in kind of a gentleman's agreement to these terms. And Sean's board signed off on this last week. They have upheld their end. Our main portion of this is that we will pay for the upsizing of the sanitary sewer, which is in number 4. And that is for a total amount of $17,800. We do have some money. We have money in the budget to allow for. We had budgeted for another development that is not moving forward in this fiscal year, and so that there is money for this, and so we would recommend approval. And I guess you've already approved the claim for the $17,800, but we request that you approve the memorandum of understanding.
Do you know, is it a dump site or is it individual hookups?
It's individual hookups, okay. And so that's a good point because the mayor asked me beforehand. It says in here that the 6-inch sanitary sewer will remain ownership of the county. And so those are the individual sewer laterals to each one of those hookups. And so as part of this memorandum of understanding is that we will take ownership of the sewer main, and then the stuff that's within the campgrounds that would be the equivalent of a sewer lateral. And then same for the water, is the larger, I believe it's the 6-inch water main will get dedicated to the city, and then the individual water service lines to each of the hookups will remain the county. After this is approved, or if this is approved, we'll bring forward easements and the dedication deeds in order to formally transfer all those back to the city. But that is why that is a great question, because Connie asked me that earlier and I forgot to bring it up.
Thanks.
I got nothing.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Move to approve.
Moved by Toohill,
Second.
second by Kness. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Toohill?
Yes.
Kness?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Esty?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
Flournoy?
Yes.
Great, thank you. That was approved unanimously. Consideration of the Code of Business Conduct, addition to the Personnel Handbook. So you've seen this before. We did discuss this at a work session a couple sessions ago. Nothing was changed as far as I recall.
Have some changes
Okay.
to suggest. On page 2, part K, where it's list officers, shouldn't we delete district judge, city administrator, treasurer, and fire chief, since we don't have a district judge? We hire the city administrator, we don't have a treasurer, and we hire the fire chief. These are not, none of these are appointed or elected officials.
Okay, so you're saying district judge, treasurer,
City administrator, and the fire chief.
Well, we do have a city administrator, right?
We have one, but he's not appointed or elected. I think this section deals with.
the fire chief's appointed, isn't he?
I
You
thought
guys
we-
approve him.
How is the city?
Well, we approved the contract for him, but I thought we hired him.
Isn't the city administrator appointed?
He's not appointed, okay.
The chief
Wanna
is
clarify.
appointed. He has a separate contract, and he's
Yeah.
appointed separately by you.
Right. How is the city administrator? Isn't he appointed?
No, we hired him. Last time I checked.
There's a contract.
Yeah, appointed
I
is
know.
like a board gets together.
Well, the
and
council,
votes.
the council votes.
Yeah, we hired him.
That's
We-
not
we-
an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
We approved his
The
contract.
assessor's appointed. They're
I
not
got
elected,
you.
they're appointed.
Okay, one, I have more.
It's hired, okay.
Under K, part Roman numeral 6, should we insert the word city in front of attorney? Same list.
Oh, I see. City attorney. I think that's right.
And I have number 8 on police chief. Is that what it says?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that could stay. We don't need to say city police chief, do we? I don't think so. I think that's good the way it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
And in Iowa, there are no county police chiefs, right?
not that I'm aware of.
City or sheriff.
So that's all I had.
Okay, so your suggestion is to strike district judge, city administrator, treasurer, add city in front of attorney, and strike fire chief. Did I
Right.
get them all?
That's it.
Because he's not appointed.
So, but we don't have any motions. Want to make a motion with those changes?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we make those changes to the policy of business conduct.
Okay, is there a second?
Code of business conduct.
Is there a second to that with those changes?
I'll second.
Second by Toohill.
And I'll make the motion to adopt the policy.
I'll second.
The first motion was just to make the changes, now we're
Yes, so-
adopting.
Yeah, so let's vote on the first changes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Any discussion on the changes? Not, please call the roll.
Flournoy?
Yes.
Toohill?
Yes.
Esty?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
Kness?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
And then to approve the Code of Business Conduct. Moved by Flournoy, second by Toohill. Any discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Flournoy?
Yes.
Toohill?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Esty?
Yes.
Kness?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 1270. This is the third and final reading. Consideration of amendment to chapter 14.04.170 meters. This has to do with voluntary upgrades. So somebody could request a meter if one of the new meters, if they so choose, at their cost.
I make the motion, oh, I'm sorry, you done?
No, go ahead.
Make the motion to adopt ordinance 1270.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Second.
I should open the public hearing.
Oh, yes.
Before you do that.
Okay.
I'll open the public hearing. Does anybody want to speak to that? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Thank you. Now you can make your motion.
I make the motion that we adopt ordinance 1270.
Second.
Moved by Flournoy, second by Esti. This is the third and final reading. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flournoy.
Yes.
Esti.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Gandy.
Yes.
Kness.
Yes.
Toohill.
Yes.
And then the last resolution is consideration of the meter upgrade fee schedule, which is on that exhibit. Anywhere from $395 to $21.50, just so the public knows, depending on which size you're getting.
Right.
Melanie's going to say something.
Just,
Go ahead, Doug.
I'm just going to ask you to delineate which one is the residential line, 5/8, I presume.
Yes, yeah. However, we do have a fair amount of residentials that are 1 inch as well. Either they're farther away from the water main or they're apartments and they need a bigger feed. What I wanted to point out is that I did change that resolution from the last time, so it actually says that the cost is the billed price, including shipping. And then that chart that is on the back is for reference only. Each shipment that we get or each order that we get, we'll check it. And that way we don't have to have like a 5% inflation every 6 months. That it's just going to be based off of what the current price is. So the attachment is for is the prices today. A month from now they might change, but it's just for reference for people.
Just to be clear,
Yes.
this is only for people who are requesting a meter to be installed when they're out of the rotation that we are anticipating for the citywide.
Yes, if your meter is broken due to no fault of your own, we come in and replace those, and Rebecca, correct me if I say anything wrong, but that we replace those, and that's included in our budget. These would be for someone who has a fairly new meter and just wants to go with this version because of the, I'll say the hour, because of the it being cellular based and the ability to track the leaks a little bit better. So it could be a good option for landlords. I have talked to a couple insurance companies that residential units wouldn't see any decrease in policies, but commercial units may be able to see a decrease. And so we'll be getting some of that information out publicly as now, if this passes and with the resolution with the ordinance passing, we'll get some more information out so that people know that this is an option.
Were you saying, Doug, that this is going to be rolled out even if you don't choose it voluntarily? You're going to have the opportunity of the city to install it without any additional cost? Are you saying that?
Yes.
Yeah, we're installing them at no cost.
So
I mean,
this is
obviously,
like-
they're paying for it because they're taking it out of the water department's funds.
But if you pay an additional amount, this amount, you can get it sooner.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
All right.
And one
You're gonna-
person-
You're going to get it eventually anyway.
That's why we have this, because somebody asked for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This pairs with the ordinance, so if you want a voluntary upgrade, then the ordinance references that we would establish the fee by the resolution. So
Right.
this is the resolution establishing the fee.
This probably is not relevant. Well, how would this have affected the situation on B Street? You know what I'm talking about?
Doesn't affect it. They're-
Well, no, I just,
Well,
but it would have made
If
it.
the upgrade had been made,
Yep.
we would have known about the leak within a day.
Well, and maximum 3 days if it would have been on a weekend. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's why
And can't people download?
somebody might pay the extra
I see.
to know right away.
And can't people download an app and monitor their emergency?
So we're gonna, that portion has not been rolled out to the public. We're gonna have some more meetings with the supplier on that. And all I can say is that more updates on the app. As of right now, the readings are still reported to City Hall daily, and that's where I said, the situation on B Street, it would have been the next day, except for unless it's over the weekend. But yes, there is an app. Judy was the only person who was using it, and so we've kind of talked about a couple different other trial groups. Marcus has a meter, so Marcus is going to be on the trial group too. So being out in that ward, and so we'll be looking for some people after we have a meeting with the supplier on making sure that we have most of the bugs worked out on that app before we roll it out to all citizens.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Yeah. So
Move to approve the resolution in consideration meter upgrade fee schedule.
Second.
moved by Esty, second by Flournoy. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Esty?
Yes.
Flournoy?
Yes.
Toohill?
Yes.
Kness?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Gandy?
Yes.
Thank you. That was approved unanimously for that meter upgrade fee schedule. And the mayor's report, just want to remind you, October 4th, we do have a work session. That's a Saturday morning. If you want something on the agenda, please let me know. And then, Chief, I want your help.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Are we having a visit from the building codes company on that day? We had talked about that, didn't we?
Possible, yeah.
Did we get that confirmed or no?
Somebody's saying.
Oh, where are we at with that, Mel?
I think we said that it would be really hard to get them here on a
It
Saturday.
might be. I'm
That's
just.
the right answer, Tom.
Well, that's if I remember.
Well, if it can't happen, I
If-
just
if-
want to.
If you ask.
I
Didn't want to forget about
forgot to ask them.
it. It's all right.
It's on my list of things to do if that counts, but
Well,
you know, it's
that was
been a
my point
little,
earlier.
it's been a
Kind of
little
busy.
Okay.
occupied. So
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I've already forgotten.
You'll ask.
Yes, I will.
Okay. And Chief, if you wouldn't mind going to the podium real quick, because I want to ask you, I just want to publicly thank, about 2-3 weeks ago, we had a missing person. And my understanding is we have 2 officers, and I forgot to bring the names, and I'm really embarrassed that now I can't remember which ones they are.
Lieutenant Joel Smith
Nielsen.
and Officer Braden Nielsen, correct?
Yeah.
Prosecutor.
You're the one that emailed me, right? I kept thinking, who sent me that? Why can't I think of their names? Anyway,
They went missing?
no, they were
found
missing.
somebody who was missing, I think.
They were very instrumental in their quick decision making, and I think we had also a citizen help with that case. And because of their good work, we found this young lady very quickly.
Well, this is the girl that went down to.
Yeah, Chief, do you want to add anything to that? Or I think Elizabeth might know a little bit, but anyway, again, will you say their names?
Yes, definitely. It was Lieutenant Joel Smith and Officer Braden Nielsen were working, and I have to also give credit to the Jefferson County Attorney's Office, who immediately helped, and between the 2 prosecutors, Elizabeth was one that came out, and Lieutenant Smith's lead on it, they applied for several search warrants and found the missing person within hours out of state, and it just was a very happy ending. And it's kind of an active investigation because there's still charges both there and in the county or the state that this young girl was located in, and then we're going to have charges. But I wasn't surprised, but I definitely heard from everybody. They were extremely impressed how much Lieutenant Smith and Officer Nielsen just spent hours in the office typing up search warrants and questioning people on the phone, knowing that she had left Fairfield and still got her home safely.
Yeah.
So we had a great happy ending with those 2.
That's great.
Case.
Yeah, I mean, I think our police officers don't get enough thanks and kudos, and I wish I had, I don't know, something to give them as a thank you. A big round of applause, yay, right? And, you know, they need to be publicly thanked when they, you know, they just don't get enough, right? And so here's an opportunity to thank them, and I'm sure that family is just so thankful and appreciative.
Actually, in Fairfield and Iowa, we get a lot more thank yous than most. So a lot of times I can't get to meetings, and that's why I'm late, because people are busy thanking me.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
That's not your
Right?
problem.
Yeah.
And isn't there? Wasn't there a young man that I thought I saw a report about a young man that had also gone missing for a little while?
Yeah, we've had
in his 20s
through the summertime.
Recently.
And we had an adult male that had some mental health issues that was also located, and very thankful at the end once we got into the emergency room. And it's just a cooperative. I can't talk enough about the. I was talking immediately to the ambulance service and to the fire department and to the emergency room, and EMA, everybody just pulls together, and it's phone calls, and we're in a meeting, and we just broke, and so they do a great job of working together, and there isn't that question of, when I call our fire chief or the ER folks, they say, what do you need, is always the first question. So I appreciate you bringing that up, sir. There were a lot of happy endings which is great.
Yeah.
That makes them that takes away some of the stress of working those tough cases, that's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the city attorney report. And John, I guess I just have one first question.
Yeah.
Since that motion didn't pass, the question that you asked Mr. Noyes to do, is that needed at this point?
I'm not sure where I stand, but I'm going to be working on a brief the next 2 nights.
Okay.
And I wanted to get it sent in by the end of the day on Wednesday so that it's there for them for our arguments on Monday. But if we were going to put everything off for a week or 2 at least to let those folks show, I wasn't going to put in the effort of 2 nights of brief writing, but that's not what the vote led to. So yeah. I'm planning on doing that. But so we're still arguing a motion to vacate the stay next Monday at 1.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted clarification on that.
Regardless of what we feel, he can always submit a request to the judge to move it back, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we mutually would agree to move it back, but the problem is, the way I understand it, and Melanie, correct me if I'm right, but if I'm wrong, but we've pretty much assured Drish that we're doing everything we can to try to move through the permit process, haven't we? We're not speaking out of school, am I?
No.
The council has given the instruction, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I went ahead and filed a motion,
Right.
and then
So
I
we're
asked for an
gonna continue- we're
expedited
planning on
hearing,
having the hearing on
it's,
Monday. We're
yeah,
planning
it's
on
gone
having it
like
Monday.
it was supposed to.
Right.
But at this point, Drish is right now in a situation where our assurances have been that we're trying to do everything we can to get this to move forward the way the council voted 2 meetings ago. So if the stay comes up off the table, it's another one of those situations where the next day maybe we're starting. But I take it a day at a time.
But I guess it's still, my question is Ed Noyes not supposed to request an extension on this, on the proceeding for Monday?
Well, I'm fine if he requests an extension, but that would probably result from a phone call from the administrative law judge to both Ed and I about when we reset it, because where there's been a request to expedite it, it invokes a couple other rules they have under the Administrative Procedures Act that Ed and I would have to read through with the judge and then agree on a new date. So it could be just a week or 2. I have no idea what the timeline is that Ed Hipp has with this Missouri group.
First of all, wouldn't the council have to approve if you wanted to extend the hearing? It comes from the council, right?
Yeah, if the council was moving for the extension,
we're not.
And that's why I asked Ed if he would move for it.
You had a suggestion. It was a
Yeah,
suggestion.
because our posture right now is with our contractor that's got the bid that we're doing everything we can to move forward through permitting.
That's the council's decision.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
That's still where we're at unless something changes. So I don't know if that answers the mayor's question, but I think that's where we are.
I think I understand.
And the Missouri Bridgeman has never come to do a bid. They've never looked at it, right?
I don't think they've been here. No, that was, they were, my understanding is they were trying to get him to come up and take a look at the site.
But, okay, I guess I don't understand why he hasn't been here then.
Well,
There's a cost
yeah,
associated to it, I think.
So let's just go ahead with the city attorney report.
All right.
I can tell you later.
The one thing I wanted to mention, since we're talking about nice things that happen with the police department, is the Greater Jefferson County Foundation, for the first time to my knowledge, made a grant to the canine fund in the form of a match, and that's been at the meeting they had, which was their 50th anniversary meeting after our last council meeting. And I think they awarded $13,500, was it, Dave, towards the computerized and remote controlled tray and stuff that pulls the dog cage out of the back of the SUV. Plus there was that much already in from the Felger money, plus training from the Felger money. But we got basically an understanding with the foundation that we wouldn't completely deplete the Felger money on this single project. So we've still got enough Felger money left in that fund to fund another officer and another dog and another training, I believe, Dave. So that's the state of affairs. Plus, that night I had 2 or 3 other people that indicated they plan to make contributions of $1,000 to the fund also, which some of them have done it in the past. So hopefully that will stay that way, and it'll be a good thing for Riley and our pet. Rambo, yeah.
John, before you continue, I just want to, I should have said this earlier, but I did send a thank you to Greater Jefferson County Foundation on behalf of the city for three different grants that we got that night.
Yeah, that's super.
So-
The other big
so
one
you know
was
they've
the
been
fire
thanked.
station,
Yeah.
which,
Fire station, the library, and the canine.
yeah.
So.
Couple things, and these are part of our nuisance projects that we have in the community. There is a house at a 709 South 4th. It is under the control, or has been under the control, of a group called Garden Associate Property Management for a lender up in Cedar Rapids. They sent us a letter saying they were referring it back to the lender and they weren't going to be responsible for communicating with me anymore. This is after a few months ago they had us send them paperwork to sign off and relinquish their interest in the property, which would let us go ahead and take title to the property. The estate that it's in has agreed they will do that if the lender will agree. After that time, the person that I was dealing with at Garden Associates has kind of dropped off the map. I've tried communicating with them a few times, and then I got a letter saying that you should attempt to communicate with the lender. That only gets me a voice recording. It doesn't get me a live body. My next step on that is going to be to have the Secretary of State's office show me the registered agent, and we'll serve a letter on the registered agent for the lender corporation so we get some kind of a response from somebody. But other than that, if we don't get the response I want, we're going to go ahead with a 657A. The estate will relinquish. If the lender continues to ignore it, I'll have the court default them, and we'll probably get the title to 709. That place is boarded up. It's still, I think the city's mowing the lawn about once a month, and it's an eyesore, but it's not occupied by squatters anymore. And we are, I think, in the process that we'll probably get where we want to with it yet before end of the year. The other thing that I'm probably going to bring to our property committee the next time they have a meeting is a person that has inherited a property up at 204 North C Street. It's overgrown. It's in very bad condition, but it's a pretty decent lot, and it's otherwise decent residences in the neighborhood. The person that inherited the property has been up to the courthouse with us once on nuisance citation. Very cooperative, very much a parallel situation to Kevin Franklin that we had over on South 6th Street. She wants us to go ahead and set this thing up so that she can do two things. One, she wants it evaluated as far as the value of the lot. She's already agreeable that if we want to take it by 657A, she'll cooperate in relinquishing. If there's about one more month and an old lien will expire on it, at that point she would be willing to give us a quitclaim deed. If she does that, I'll do my usual, and we'll have the abstract company do a lien search, and then we will probably have a resolution for you authorizing us to receive a gift from her. And the only hitch in that will be that she's hopeful that the city will agree to allow her some kind of an itemized deduction for a gift she makes to the city. My expectation is that the lot value will probably be $12,000 to $15,000. The house is assessed right now at $29,000, which that's an in your dreams kind of thing. That house needs to be torn down. But if we do that, we'd be bringing you a resolution and then acknowledging that she's had it appraised, that it does have a value in that range just for the lot, and that we would agree to acknowledging it as a gift to the city. At which point we'll have another infill lot, which at that point I guess it would still be up to property committee whether they want to take it on and clear it and put it in the inventory of infill lots. But I think it's a good solution to that, and I would expect it would work out similar to what we did with Kevin Franklin, which
Great. And just remind the council that we do have a pledge
yeah. So I don't know when the next property
from a
committee
donor
meeting
to
is, but
tear
it's,
houses down. So
yeah, it's one of the things we want to talk about.
great. Thank you.
Other than that, I don't have anything else to report tonight.
Okay. Committee and board reports. There's nothing here. City administrator report.
I want to ask the council, it's been brought to my attention that we seem to be having a beaver and otter problem at Pleasant Lake, and it's destroying crops, or they are destroying crops. And I just kind of wanted to bring to the council's attention that the water department has been in communications with the DNR, and they've recommended that the water department trap them. And I don't know whether that's dead or live, but not sure. The farmers out there and the water department have both said they're building dams and they're destroying the farmers' crops, and they need to fix it. And so I wanted to bring that to your attention to see if you had any thoughts in regards to that. But
Did the Conservation Board advise residents on how to handle that situation?
what does the Conservation Board? Do you think that we should go to the?
I mean, do they do trapping? Who does trapping?
Chris Sorflat.
I was just thinking.
I was gonna say.
We had a guy here.
Right? I'm telling you, he traps, right?
The water department has someone who will, and I don't know if it's if it's free or low cost that will be trapping it. So I think Doug's question isn't who to trap. It's is it all right to trap? Even though it's outside city limits, it's adjacent to city property. I think that's what you're asking.
That's correct.
You weren't looking for.
So we're not responsible.
No, I mean, we appreciate Chris Sorflat's volunteering, but we do have somebody who is able to do that.
Well, there's no question that we ought to do something about it.
I didn't know there were otters in my house.
We ought to do something about it.
Wrong.
And lastly, auditors are coming in on the 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Our auditors?
Our auditors. So
keep it going. Keep it
a separate question. That's all I got for now.
Any questions for the city administrator?
Is Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day is not a observed holiday, is it?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
Not here.
I just noticed our first meeting in October is scheduled on that day. I just want to make sure that we had that right.
Nope.
Okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Hipp.
Second.
Second by Esty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for your time.
That's a short one.